everybody, my name is Angelica. I'm from the Math Magician Bookkeeping. I'm one of the students in Bryce's coaching program, and today I'm here to talk with you about advertising do's and don'ts. So for myself, whenever I first started out as a bookkeeper, I tried to look for so many different ways to get my name out there because I had the bookkeeping part down. I knew the technical side of it. And I'm actually usually a pretty creative person, and I came up with my own website, I came up with my own contract agreement, I used to do makeup artistry, and it's really funny because advertising is one of those things that I am just horrible at. I feel like every business, though, they run into their own snag of what they can and can't do, and this is something I tell my clients all the time, that they may have their strong suit in something else, but bookkeeping may not be theirs, so that's where I come into play. But anyways, just trying to get my name out there was the hardest part, and it usually is for a lot of businesses. But I feel like especially as a bookkeeper, there's just something that is kind of difficult about trying to make it seem like, for one, that you're trustworthy, you're going to take care of this important task, and for two, that just to be able to get that information out there and it not be super boring. People think of bookkeeping, accounting, finances, and they think, oh, that is like the most boring thing I could think of. And so for me, like whenever I did makeup artistry, I could usually post pictures of either makeup I did on myself, makeup I did on someone else, and it was like a visual that people could see, like, oh, okay, this person kind of knows what they're doing or not, doesn't know what they're doing, they could decide for themselves. But with bookkeeping, you can't necessarily show like, hey, I'm in this person's account and I'm doing this and that, You don't want to show off that confidential information. There are certain tips that you can give, yes, but to be able to market yourself as a trustworthy person is something very hard to do. So back when I first started, I really tried hard and I looked up a bunch of articles. I looked up so many things to help me do those things. And a lot of the articles that I saw were about making posts every single day and posting them to your Instagram, making posts every single day on Facebook and posting it to your Facebook page. There were all these things, and I kept thinking like, okay, I understand that, but like, what should I post about? Because I don't want it to just be like, yes, E equals MC squared. Yes, look at me, I'm a bookkeeper. I didn't want it to be something boring. I didn't want my stuff to just be something that people passed over. I remember taking a long time and actually going through my Instagram page and trying to make it seem very professional and look very good to a point where someone would want to. I'd go on and I'd add friends all the time. I would do so many things, and I couldn't do it. And so one of the things was like, you need to make posts every day. You need to make a bunch of posts and post them every day, and you need to do them at these specific times and this and that. And I just couldn't find any information out there that made any sense. And actually, one of the ways that I ended up finding Bryce was because I was looking for ways to achieve new clients and happened upon one of his videos. And one of his videos pretty much was just like, it didn't have that information, and that's what drew me to him, was because I was like, hey, this is like the first thing that I've seen where someone isn't saying, you need to post every single day. Because I get it, like, you need to have that consistency, people need to know that you're consistent, but trying to come up with something new and exciting and creative, like, I bet 90% of us bookkeepers are more on the analytical side. And not that we aren't creative, but like I was saying earlier, like our creativity is spent on other things like hobbies and such that we have, that maybe advertising isn't our strong suit. And it's really hard to like yell at people and be like, hey, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. But yeah, I mean, another thing that I want to touch on as well is spending money on ads. So spending money on Google ads, Facebook ads, so on and so forth. These are certain things you can do. Oh, Thumbtack, Fiverr. Oh, what was the other one that was real popular for a minute? I can't remember the name. But basically, you have to kind of pay for credits or such to be able to reach out to people or to have people reach out to you. I will admit that I used Thumbtack for a long time whenever I first started my business, and that was where I got majority of my clients. I'm not saying it doesn't work, because it is nice. People are coming to you that actually need that help. But I will say 90% of those people that actually got from Thumbtack were pretty low-paying clients. But yeah, I was basically spending more money on actually getting people, because the way that Thumbtack works is that you will get a lead, and then if you choose to respond back to them, then you have to pay for that. And sometimes people may not respond back at all. That's like a risk that you're willing to take. And then it's like $13 for a lead that you just spend, which all in all doesn't sound that expensive, but whenever you're getting a bunch of leads in, then it's kind of like, I'm not really getting anything out of this. And then for them to only pay you like $80 a month, it's okay. You know, I guess that's what I'm saying, is it's not the worst way to get started, but there are other avenues that you can do to not spend money. And speaking of that, like I was saying, Google ads, Facebook ads, I never got into it because I could never really afford to be able to spend the money. And I know you got to spend money to make money, but I just never really felt like that was a good avenue. I think I had tried Facebook ads like once or twice, and people would like thumbs up the post, but they would never do anything about it. And it was so targeted to a specific area that I didn't really like that. Also, Google ads. I did do for quite a while, and it would rack up to be about $50 to $80 a month, but I wasn't getting anybody reaching out to me. I could see some of the analytics of people like going to my website and stuff, but no one ever reached out to me. And so that was slightly frustrating. But yeah, if I were you, there's other ways to go about advertising, and I'm about to talk about some of those points. And these are actually things that I learned from being in Bryce's coaching program, and things that would probably be really beneficial to you as well. So one of the very first things, and like I said, one of the items that really drew me to Bryce and his first video that I saw, was he was talking about actually making connections with people. And yeah, that sounds pretty self-explanatory. It's something that you need to do, but I felt like I could get away with it. I don't need to reach out and make connections with people. But I was kind of at a desperate moment whenever I was watching those videos that Bryce had uploaded, and I was just kind of like, that makes a lot more sense than making a post every day and then just hoping someone sees it and wants to work with me. And a lot less time, honestly, just making honest, good connections. And he kind of had a list of things to do. But obviously, once I got in the program, those items were defined a little bit more. And one of those items is making really good connections. And one of the ways you can do this is by using LinkedIn. I had a LinkedIn profile, but I never used it because I felt like I didn't really know what I was doing in LinkedIn. I know it's similar to Facebook, but I was never truly like that in tuned with it. And so basically creating a profile and being able to reach out to people every day. Now, there is a system in LinkedIn that is super awesome. You do have to pay for it, but it basically automates your requests, it automates your messages, so you can send out 50 invites a day to people. And that could be your target niche. That could be anybody. That could be people in your area. You can actually decide which ones you want to use. But basically, you can be sending out 50 connection requests every single day. And then you can also make it to where if this person accepts a request, it will automatically message them a introductory message. And once you get that introductory message, it's go time. And you've already made a connection with them, and you can kind of do a little bit of small talk and then basically ask them, hey, have you ever, do you have anybody taking care of your books right now? Because for me, that was a big issue as well of like, I would make connections with a few people, but I was always so like, oh, I don't want to tell them about my business because I don't want to be self-promoting and weird. And I had to get over that fear very quickly because I realized like, I'm not going to be able to make it anywhere if I don't have enough confidence within myself to be able to do that. And so one of the ways to phrase it, like usually phrasing things is my hardest way to do things, like when asking for money or asking for help or asking if someone's interested. It's really hard for me to phrase things in a way that doesn't come across super pushy. That's always been like my biggest issue, is I don't want to come off as a persistent pushy jerk, because I've had people be that to me, and I will try everything in my power to not be that to someone else. So like I said, that was a big thing, but Bryce had it phrased in a way that was like, just reach out to them, have a little bit of small talk, and then ask, hey, do you have anybody working on your books right now? Or he had it phrased some other more eloquent way. He's got a very good way of speaking with things that kind of makes you go, oh yeah, like, why didn't I ever think of that before? But that is one of the tips, is make connections on LinkedIn. And the reason why LinkedIn is so powerful is because you're already having so many like business professionals in this one specific location, and you can choose to like customize if you want to speak with a business owner, which majority of the time you would want to, since they're the ones making those decisions. So another thing that I learned from being in Bryce's coaching program is another way to make connections that are going to be really beneficial to you, and that's by reaching out to referral partners and subcontractors. So reaching out to referral partners is basically the same thing as making a connection with another business owner, except for this, you're going to be reaching out to referral partners such as other accountants, business coaches, credit, like business credit, loan officers, so on and so forth. Basically, other people in industries that can kind of mesh well with you as a bookkeeper that you can use to refer your clients out to, and vice versa. If they have clients, like let's say a loan officer, they have a client that is trying to get a loan, but their books are not in order, then you could be a good referral source for that loan officer to go, I see that your books aren't in order. I actually know of a bookkeeper that you might be able to work with, and then they'll pass your name along. Word of mouth does wonders, and by making a connection and a friendship, a relationship with someone with that type of influence is very powerful. I received a client already from just being in Bryce's program for a few months, and I think it was like a $2,000 cleanup, and they pay me about $500 a month. So I already received that from a referral partner that I just happened to make a great connection with. And yes, you will take a little bit of time and meetings and kind of getting to know people, but you want to build that relationship on mutual understanding of, if you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. This is how we can make it work. These are some things that, you kind of want to tell them a little bit about what you do and to hear about what they do, and make sure you pay attention. That way you can actually get your clients involved and sent off to them. And if they're not your actual clients, maybe some potential clients, maybe people that you just randomly talk to. But the more that you give, the more other people are going to give back. There's a great podcast from actually a referral partner of mine, and I can't remember the name of it, but he actually interviewed someone who had talked about the importance of being in a referral partnership, and it was super powerful. I think his name is Mike O'Neill, and the podcast is Get Unstuck and On Target, and the actual episode that I'm talking about is he interviews someone about referral partnerships, and I think it would be really smart for you to listen to it. And the episode is episode 76, Get Results with Referral Partnerships with Thomas Gilman. It talks a lot about the benefits of referral partnerships and how to maintain those relationships for a more beneficial relationship. Those are just some of the tips that I have on reaching out to subcontractors and referral partners. And then, like I said, the free stuff is just making connections. Anywhere you go, don't just be like frothing at the mouth to tell them about your business. But anytime you hear someone say, hey, I have a business, whether that's a friend, family member, church member, someone that you may work with at your actual office, someone that your friends may know, just basically trying to just throw it out there like, oh yeah, I have a bookkeeping business, if you know of anybody that ever needs that help. Just throwing out those reminders every now and then building your confidence. And I will say that my confidence grew so much from actually having conversations with referral partners, because repeating myself over and over to someone about what I do and not worrying about like, oh, I have to make a sale, just kind of like reaffirmed it in my mind, like, hey, yeah, I actually do know what I'm doing, and I can answer this question very easily and, hand it off to someone else. So anyways, those are my advertising tips for you guys. I know that Bryce has so many of these resources that I can't even begin to kind of get into the thick of it, but he's helped me so much, and I've grown my business so much more with his help. And if you are interested in growing your business as well, click the link in the description or in the comment section below and book a call with him, because he has some really beneficial things to help get you started. So thank you again so much for watching this video. Please give it a like if you'd like to see more information like this, and consider subscribing. Thank you, and have a great day.